P. Diddy Combs is finally cooked. Over the past week, P. Diddy has been indicted on various federal charges in the United States of America, ranging from racketeering, human trafficking, coercion, assault, intimidation, bribery, a whole laundry list of charges against him and his associates of Bad Boy Entertainment. It seems like we have finally got him, and we all know it's been time coming. It's way overdue. This guy has been destroying lives for decades, destroying careers for decades, stealing for decades, frauding for decades, living a life of luxury off the backs of hard-working talent for decades, and then, last but not least, taking advantage of vulnerable men and women and men, allegedly, drugging them.
Ladies and gentlemen, for all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P. Diddy party, this is what happens to the white man.
It's so unfortunate.
You gotta pull back though, so they can see. And that's James from Simeon Mobile Disco. He is a actual DJs aren't supposed to pass out, but when they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to them. I put them to sleep.
Next day, right?
Assaulting them and various other illegal activity across state lines. And for those who don't know, P. Diddy is being tried in federal court. The feds have a 99% conviction rate, especially in the southern districts of New York, where he is being charged.
P. Diddy has been charged with racketeering conspiracy, trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He was arrested yesterday in New York. I can't even put into words how unbelievably cooked this guy is. I'm about to read the indictment. His defense team also has a $50 million bail package they proposed. This guy is...
$50 million? For you to have a $50 million bail on your head top, that means you are literally not leaving your house. You are going to be locked up. They are going to do all they can. That 50 million is just an arbitrary number that they think, it's going to be impossible for him to raise that much capital or that cash and pay it over to the bondsman. They're not really going to accept it, even if they do somehow liquidate everything and, give it to them for collateral. Because at the end of the day, if you're in federal court and you're being accused of the charges you're being accused of in a RICO case, mate, they're coming for that 50 million plus, regardless, because you're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. So that 50 million, they can have it now and they're going to keep it because they know they're going to come for the rest. So that's just an arbitrary number to them.
It's absolutely insane psychopath, but here we go. Hit subscribe. Let's go, boys. All right, right here we got the United States versus Sean Combs indictment. For decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy P. Diddy, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on his employees, resources, and influence of multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. So basically, he's the f***ing devil. Sorry. I know this isn't funny, but headquarters...
Literally, this guy is so cooked. And all of his associates, because at the end of the day, you cannot be doing all this in a one-man band. Like, it's hard enough, trying to commit to doing YouTube and releasing videos weekly as a one-man band, let alone organizing transport, organizing money, organizing payment, organizing, NDAs or whatever, intimidating people, organizing logistics of getting X, Y, and Z. Mad. So he needed handlers, like Kendrick said. There's some people in this industry, there's some artists in this industry, and they're just here to police it.
at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global. Corporate entities in the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, apparel line, alcoholic spirit business, marketing agency.
Hey, yo, Ciroc, you ain't going nowhere. Don't go anywhere. Ciroc, you might have tried cutting ties, but nah. Get your ass here, boy. We knew you. He was a business partner for a decade and a half. We ain't gonna let you slide like that just because you parted ways. You're still gonna be involved.
And television network and media company engaged in persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. He manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. This is where it gets sus. Bro was forcing women to have with other men, like straight, he's a cuck. At times, Combs and others acted as direction, made arrangements for women and other commercial sex workers to fly to his location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off at the same time using intimidation and violence, enriching members and associates of the enterprise, including its leader, and particularly those who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crimes. Yikes. So are they charging other people and his...
That is correct. They're coming for other people. Like, this is a pyramid. He's at the top for now, but the people right below and beside him on that level who were engaging and facilitating and soliciting these activities, so the industry is cooked. The music industry is cooked. And this is what Kendrick's been saying for a minute now. The industry will once know it's coming to an end. The way things were done, the way the way executives, right? The way record label owners could leverage their clout, their fame, their fortune to artists to make them do whatever they want, whether it was to give them their masters, to sign off on contracts that were not in their best interest, to, force them into bad situations, make them not only sing for other artists and write for other artists, but involved in other illegal activities like the stuff that I've just been mentioned, aka Cassie Ventura.
Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship, use force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with them.
Yo, this is Andrew Tate on steroids, bruv. The lover boy method. Yeah, you can be my wife, you can be my girlfriend. I'll take care of you. Anything you want, I'll get it for you. Just, do this for me. Do this favor. Be with this person. Let me watch this person. Let me have sex with this person. Let me do this with you and that person. And get a whole bag of crap under the guise of, I can show you the world. Disgusting. Absolute deviant. If we thought Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly was bad, this is like my man said, that he's the devil incarnate. And people in the industry knew. All the people beside him, I don't want to mention any names because it's going to be a very techie, but once those names that have been, just think the people that are on his level right now, the people that we see as the dons, the guys in charge of the music industry, the ones right on that level, you guys know who I'm talking about. Yo, we're looking at you sideways.
Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, and masturbated during, and often recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occurred regularly. He distributed drugs to victims, in part to keep victims obedient and compliant. Unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. High-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff facilitated the freak-offs by, and other things, booking hotel rooms, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, linens, lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims and sex workers, and Combs to and from the freak-offs.
That's wild. Freak-off supplies. That is wild. Freak-off supplies. I could just imagine them. Yo, we got a fresh shipment of freak-off supplies yet? Due in 2 days, man. Like, we got the deadline for next week. Come on, we need to get those supplies, boy. Brother. What's that, brother? Brother. That is just... Mate, the trappings of wealth, like, and fame. Like, for those who've ever been to church, they would tell you stories and, give you advice on, the powers or the trappings of, power and fame and money. The devil is going to be right next to you. It's going to be tempting you to, use your power more for bad stuff, to indulge in your, most basic urges, and to indulge in gluttonous activities, degenerate activities. And this guy is the poster boy. No, this guy is the guy for that type of stuff. The degenerates in Hollywood knew he was the guy. Him and Harvey Weinstein were probably best friends. Him and Epstein were probably best friends.
Supplying Combs with the requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay commercial sex workers, and scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. What a freaky little fucker. During this search of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies. Is this real life? Are we really reading this? Including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Oh, you're a little freak, P. Diddy. Because 10 bottles of baby oil isn't enough. They need 1,000. Subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse. The victims to engage in freak-offs. Maintain control over his victims through and among physical violence. Promises of career opportunities. That's a fucked up one. This is all fucked up, but granting and threatening to withhold financial support and other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, supplying them with controlled substances,
monitoring the medical records. Do you know why they're doing that? To see if anyone's got any diseases. That's it. These I don't know whether... I don't even want to go down that route because that's foul. That's foul. You want to do them so dirty, but you don't want to risk any chance of you catching something. That's fucked up. That is so fucked up.
The victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted in participating in the freak-offs. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence.
Shit.
He might be a psychopath. Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. During the search of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, LA seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers. When Combs' authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, so recently, Combs and members of Associates of Enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent, not report what they experienced in law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members of Associates of Enterprise, among other things, provided the victims and witnesses with the false narrative of events in an effort to conceal his crimes, the racketeering conspiracy.
This guy knew he was cooked. He was scrambling.
I like when you like this, Daddy. Yeah, where you put my bag? Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
He's making personal calls to the victims. He's like, yo, this is what happened, that didn't happen. Yo, bro, like, you're done out here. Like, it's finished. P. Diddy, Sean Combs is cooked. Sean Combs is going to be on that, the list of songs that you can't play anymore in the public's airwaves, in the public space, at a club, on the radio. Yo, they might even be removed from Spotify at this point because this shit is even worse than what we're used to seeing from people like R. Kelly and them on there. This is like, diabolical behavior.
Defense proposes the following bail package: $50 million bond, co-signed by Sean Combs, his mother, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. Secured by the equity in Mr. Combs' residence located at 2 West Star Island. The appraised value of the home is $48 million. In anticipation of the bail hearing on August 20th, paid off the remaining mortgage of about $18 million so that the home could be used as security bond and be free of mortgage. Bro just has $18 million to pay off a mortgage. He's worth around $1 billion, so God, that's just insane because you know you're about to be arrested pretty much at a bail hearing. Mr. Combs' travel will be restricted by the Southern District of Florida. His passport was surrendered by counsel on April 1st. His counsel advised the prosecution of this fact in an email dated the same day. Passports of the following family members who have already surrendered their passports to counsel after the raids on Mr. Combs' homes. So all his family members also submitted their passports.
He is done out here. Finito, and good riddance, because it's been a long time coming. Just hearing the headlines, not even like the gruesome details, you already know this guy is one piece of work, and it's about time that people like them get put underneath the prison, because they have destroyed, traumatized whole generations of people, because that trauma just doesn't stop with the person that he victimized. It affects the people that they later go on to, marry and have, families with. For example, Cassie, and her husband. Do you think that their relationship wasn't affected by the trauma she sustained when she was in Pree Diddy? The maybe potentially trust issues, intimacy issues, and, the trauma that could be potentially passed on to their children. Is just disgusting, and thank God the United States of American federal authority are doing something about it. But let me know what you think about the situation. I'm your boy, I'm your tribal chief, Majaro, aka Midge, and you already know what I'm going to say. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
I be kidding on my foes, even though I got it all on my own. Success sweet, yeah, it tastes like honeycomb. Dropping blood, tears, and even breaking bones. I'm sipping on Patron while aiming for the throne. I've been to hell and back and even call it home.